Okay, so today we're going to take a quick look at a couple of thrift stores here. So I'm trying to make my way back to the electronics department, and as you'll see, I was kind of crowded in the store on this day, so have to zigzag my way over there and go around some people that were doing their thing. So every aisle I was trying to get to the back corner where the electronics are was blocked in some way or another, so it'll take just a second to get back there, as you'll see, but we'll eventually make it back there. So as we get around this family and go this way, we'll start to get to the electronics department. One of the things I like to do is scan over it real quick. I've been to this store a lot, so I kind of know what's been here recently and what's old, so I do skip a lot of things. But looking through the DVD players, every once in a while you'll find a VCR or something in there that might be worth something. So I'm trying to check around this and grab a set of VHS tapes. They had a brand new 6-pack of Sony 6-hour tapes for 99 cents, so grab those because that's always a good thing to include when you're selling a VCR. It's just as an added bonus to get people to want to buy it. If you can include cables, the remote, and a VHS tape, it goes a long way to making people choose yours over everybody else's. So just kind of checking out some DVD players and such. Looking around the shelves, making sure I'm not missing anything small that may have fallen down, because that does happen from time to time. So going back over towards the smaller stuff here, a lot of these clock radios, lights, and everything have been at this store for a while, so mostly skip over that. Check out the cables. I did need a couple of component video cables and everything, so I've been looking for those. So just kind of sifting through everything, trying to make sure I'm not missing any potential profit on here. So not really seeing a whole lot. Kind of moving around, looking down by the subwoofer section, but most of the ones they have there are all beat up, and they're really heavy, so I try not to ship those if I don't have to. Start sifting through the cables, looking at some remotes, some cables, stuff like that. This is usually where this store has all of this stuff. So checking out, sometimes you'll find some good Sony remotes or Samsungs or something. Grab a set of component cables with audio just because I needed them for something else that I was selling. So they were a little more expensive than I would usually pay for them. At this store, they charge $1.99 instead of the 99 cents. But, just in case I don't find any more on this day, I just figured I'd throw them in there. There was also a guitar cable up there earlier. You might say, it's not going to come back in the frame. I did end up grabbing that. That was actually the only real profitable thing on this trip at this store. That ended up being worth about $40. So I went ahead and grabbed that, but that was after I stopped recording. So we're going to fade out of this store, and we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, so we're on to the second Goodwill here, and again, it seems like it's fairly crowded. You got this really happy-looking lady here that we have to walk past. So we're heading way back to electronics. On this Goodwill, it's in the side instead of in the back where most of them are in my area, but decided to kind of meander over to the cabinet here. Every once in a while you can find some good stuff. This one usually has a lot of video games, stuff like that in there, but they had some Atari stuff that was priced pretty high, some Nintendo DS stuff that didn't seem to be worth a whole lot. So decided to kind of skip on the case items today and slowly make my way back over towards sports and electronics. So sorry again for the shaky camera here. My phone's autofocus on the Galaxy here seems to do its own thing in some of these stores. I think it just doesn't like the tracking, but eventually it'll get there. So again, I apologize if it's a little blurry with the autofocus on this. So like I said, we're making our way back to sporting goods, checking out the bats. It's always a good idea to look through the bats. You can never know what you're going to find. And this one I found a DeMarini wood/composite bat. Decided to go ahead and pick that up. The Pro Maple bats are actually worth a good amount of money, and this one looked like it had marks I would clean up pretty easily. So threw that in the cart. That one itself ended up being worth about $60 to $70 on eBay, so I went ahead and listed that. So it's making our way back towards the electronics here, as you can see. Again, just like to take a look at every shelf, kind of bounce around a little bit, look, usually the keyboards I leave alone because keyboards are a dime a dozen unless you see a gaming mechanical keyboard or something that, pops out at you. But Most of the ones around me rarely ever have that. You can see it's been the same ones forever with a nice layer of dust on them. So at this one, they have a lot of cables. So I like to go and look through all these, make sure, I'd already grabbed one of the component video ones earlier. So, see another one that looks halfway decent here. Go ahead and throw that in there as well. Then start sifting through, trying to see if there's anything else worthwhile to grab. A lot of times you can find some hidden gems in these cable areas. You'll find garage door remotes, all sorts of small stuff. You never know what you're going to find. So if you take the time to dig through it a little bit, if you have the time, sometimes it'll pay off for you. So here we got a polarized power cable. These are always great to pick up. If you can find either the figure 8 non-polarized or the square round polarized cables, and they're 99 cents, grab them. You're probably about $8 on eBay. You could sell them individually if you really wanted to, but a lot of times when you're looking at VCRs or any other high-end audio equipment or anything like that, sometimes even some computer stuff will use those, and it'll save you from having to find them later on. So anytime I find one of those and it's 99 cents or less, I just go ahead and buy it because it'll save me time down the road, more than that dollar's worth. So again, we're just sifting through the cables, trying to see what they have, see if there's anything spectacular here. So it usually takes a little bit. There is some time there. You will find some interesting things, find some disgusting things that are all covered and stuff, but it's part of the game with this. So did check out this Sony radio. Anything, as a lot of other people have said on YouTube, Sony stuff sells. So if you can find something that's got a decent track record and is in a halfway decent shape, it's usually worth picking up. On a radio like this, I like to check, make sure the antenna's there intact and everything. That's a big feature, especially if it's got a digital radio. So this one looked all there, had some superficial marks I can get out. So went ahead and got that, and also saw they had the power cable for it, selling it separately, so made sure I grabbed that as well. Then just kind of, again, went back to the next shelf, start sifting through it again, and as you'll see here, I just kind of grab a few things, try to see if they work, if they might be worth anything, just kind of looking for anything and everything that might have some sort of look to it, like it might be worth something. These Jet Direct HP network modules used to be really expensive, but a lot of people with older printers, if theirs die or blow out, there's really no parts for them anymore, so I went ahead and threw that in the cart. It's $2.99. Probably easily turn that around for $20-25, even without a power adapter. So I like to sift, again, just sifting through all the cables. Cables, you can make a lot of money to make your trip worthwhile. At least pay for the gas to go to the stores if the store ends up being a dud. You can always find a couple bucks or something that'll help you out in the future just by sifting through whatever cable packs they have. Not all Goodwills have a cable section, but the ones that do, I like to spend a little bit extra time in there. Sometimes double check just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because you never know if there's that specialty cable you've been looking for or that you might need in the future. Just go ahead and grab it. So yeah, the camera's out of focus here again. I apologize before, and I'll do it again. It's I didn't realize this until after I was doing, the editing and stuff, that it had been like this. They had an AT&T business phone. A lot of times these are good, but as you can see here, some idiot cut the cord on it, so it's pretty much worthless. Some of the clock radios here and P-Touch and things like that all looked pretty beat up, so I wasn't about to, take a chance in any of those. There wasn't enough profit in it for it to be worth the risk. Looked at this Dell docking station. Thought these used to be worth a lot of money. They had it for $4.99. Ended up putting it in the cart and then walked around. And when I was checking prices later on, ended up throwing it back on the shelf. It was $4.99. I think they were selling for $15. So you got to be careful when you're looking at docking stations. Some of them for new laptops are great. Some of them for the older laptops are absolutely worthless. So again, we're just checking the shelves, making sure we didn't miss anything. Looking at some of the Sony clock radios just to make sure, see if they're models that, sell for anything halfway decent. You can see the reflection of the phone there. That's some professional level stuff. I found it's very difficult to film in these stores and make it look like you're not doing something you shouldn't be. So, yeah, as I get better at it, hopefully I can keep the focus in more. But I was walking through the tools in the home improvement area of this store, and there wasn't really a whole lot to be had in the other departments in this store. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you for watching and everything. And if you have any comments or see anything that I missed, please feel free to leave it down below. See you later.